forgot to perform the Paracord cable mod and turn my Finalmouse Air58 into the Finalmouse Air58 Phantom instead of the Air58 Ninja. So here we have a decent mouse. Good cable, right? I put on 2 hyperglides because I was waiting for this moment. And a good sensor or whatnot. Well, I think it could be better and look cooler because blue isn't my favorite color. And I think the Phantom looked dope. So here, I've got a parts list here. Well, I've got a bunch of things here in the thing area in front of me. You will need the Air58 as usual, and hyperglides. I've got 2 on top, and then those are the 2 on the bottom. And to make it look cooler, I thought I'd add a paracord in as well from CISA. Screwdriver, I don't know what size it is. Flathead screwdriver or an X-Acto knife also works. Pliers in case you're not strong like me. Lighter, of course the ultralight Phantom, which I stripped the top off of. I'll show a little bit of that earlier. And something to heat the feet off. I just want to clarify that I did not come up with this idea at all. I actually stole this idea off of Reddit and from, I forget his name. I'll leave his link in the description to the Reddit post as well as his tutorial on it. And yeah, let's get right to it. So first thing you're gonna want to do is get out your blow dry or whatever. I'm gonna plug it in real quick. You're gonna want to get it and turn it on to high setting. I might mute this because it's really loud. Wait till it's hot. Wait till it's really hot, and then put your mouse feet in front and let it sit there for 30 seconds. Or more or less. Alright, that's it. That's all we need to do. And now with these mouse feet, we'll take our flathead screwdriver, find a little area, and pry it off. I can't really get this, my camera's terrible. But you can pry it off, just peel it off. You can still use the stock mouse feet even after getting peeled off. They're just not that great as overall as mouse feet, considering the price point. Here we go. Oh, my weird pen screwdriver just fell out, but I can just peel the rest off. Alright, as you can see, there are 2 screws here. It's exactly like paracording the Phantom or the regular Ultralight Pro if you've already done that. I'm going to clean it off a little bit here. Let's get some of that dusty stuff out. And as you can see, we've got something that we can work with here. There's 2 screws. So how I did this was I took my screwdriver, and of course I started unscrewing it. It's pretty difficult though, so what I did with the Phantom to get it off is I took pliers, held it steady, give it a tap, and then took my pliers and started twisting it. And at this point it's probably loose enough, usually, to start actually unscrewing. Yeah, I'm really weak, by the way, and I'm able to unscrew it no problem. You want to keep the screws in a place where you can remember and don't lose them, for sure. So, Just missed it. Now it's loosened up. We can unscrew it. It's really hard to see, but yeah, I just unscrewed it. And the screws are down here. So, what we're going to do from here is to take the shell off. Well, there's only 2 screws back in the back. So it'll feel a bit loose, so you can kind of squeeze inward and just pop it off. And then you can squeeze the front part to make the front get taken off easier. I'll angle the camera a bit, so it feels a bit questionable, but if you squeeze the front of it, it comes off cleanly. Now, to do this, since most people already know to do a paracord, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to take off these things. Now, of course, I didn't invent this method. The guy I was talking about earlier, who I saw on Reddit, did this. So first, what you're going to want to do is in the back, you're going to want to, you see these, like, these things here? Or this thing here? You're going to want to push these outward until you hear a little snap. Or you feel this moved out of its place. Do it again to the other side. This one's a bit rough. There we go. There's a little crack. Then you want to wedge your flathead screwdriver in between the back, kind of wiggle. It's kind of dicey. But yeah, it won't feel very good at first, but you'll eventually get it off. Yeah, just there. Then you'll notice there are more parts further up, right here, this part here, as well as this thing here. So what you want to do is you want to push it inward until you hear a little crack, then push the other thing inward until you hear a little crack as well. This thing should fall right off. And hopefully you won't damage it visibly or anything like that, or structurally. Now we're left with this husk, just the Air58 Ninja husk. Now you can take out the DPI button. I believe if you push through the center thing here, and lighting's bad, this center thing here, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to keep it. What we're going to do is we're going to take off the top shell, the upper half. What you want to do is you want to push the one thing here, push it, these 2 things, little wedges inward. And then as you're doing it, you'll want to just peel it off. Yeah, like that, and then it'll fall right off. Just try and just like yank from under it as you're lifting it. And there you go, you have your 2 parts here. Now, as you can imagine, it's a lot easier to put it in than take it out. And so what you want to do here is do the top part first. You'll take the top part, line it up with the DPI button, and press inward. It should snap right in, nice and snug. Like right here. Then you want to take this shell and just overlay it right where it would look good, where it would look right. Line it up with the bottom parts, sides like this. Press inward around the clock, and you should hear a satisfying click as it goes in. and boom, your shell is now successfully transplanted, and you have the original weight. Now that that's done, you can of course do whatever you want with this thing. Go back to your Phantom, press it back in, and make an Air58 make the Air58 Phantom. Well, except the other edition where it's just plain blue. Now what we'll do next is we're going to take out this ugly greenish, tealish, I don't know how to describe it, paracord. The way we're going to do this is we're going to slowly take out this little thing here. You should see a little area where the thing sits right here. The cord sits. Wedge that out and just pull it out from under the PCB. Like so. And then after that, the PCB, you should probably take off the PCB if you can't take it off like directly like me. Take off the side buttons. It should slide right off the hinge like that. And then you can just slowly wiggle open the PCB off the thing. Just be sure not to be careful with it and don't break anything because that'll mess up the entire mouse. And yeah, this is taking a bit, so I may just cut this out until I finish taking this off, and I'll be right back.
12 seconds later.
Alright everyone, we're back, and the PCB is now out of the bottom shell. So we're going to go back down here, and notice how this is taken out. You want to go to this little thing here, this little area where the cord connects, and grip not the wires, but like the little whitish, not the different thing, and wiggle it back and forth. Try and pull it out, but don't pull on the wires, no matter what. Just keep doing it. It should eventually get pulled out. Just keep wiggling it back and forth a little while. This is very awkward. I'll cut out again until this is done as well. We'll be back. We're back, guys, and I've gotten the little thing out from this. As you can see, this part of the mouse fits right, wait, let me rotate it. Fits right into here. I just took it out. So what you're going to do is with my new black and white Starry Night paracord I got from CISA, I can leave his order in the description to get a paracord like it. What you want to do is you want to pull the paracord back and pull the main wire out as far as possible so that this paracord doesn't snap back. Organize the heat shrink like so, and then heat shrink once you fit it into this. You should see the pins seem to line up, and then you'll snap it in. Like that. And now, as you can see, it is in. You might want to push in a bit just to see if it's for sure. Once it feels secure, whatnot, pull out the wire, pull back the paracord, and near the front, put a heat shrink there. Put back the PCB into the into the mouse bottom. Well, I've got a few things stuck together. Put away the old cord. As you can see, we can put back the PCB. Line it up with everything. Just be sure to have this hole, this large rectangular hole right here, line up with this large stabilizer looking thing here. And then push down lightly. Be sure not to break anything as always. But if you want, you can pull out the wire and then fit it under the PCB of the mouse and fit it so it goes directly through here. Like make a little tiny passage. Put the side wheel, once you fit the PCB back in, it shouldn't rattle as just remember that the PCB shouldn't rattle at all. In here, it's pretty secure, I think. Yep. You should hear a few snaps to hear that it has been fitted back in. Actually, this side is not in yet, so I'm gonna push it in. You can rock it a bit to see if it feels stable. As you can see, mine's not moving at all. So slide the wires under once it's secure. Get its general path through so that the wires aren't interfering with anything or whatnot. As you can see here, it's pretty clean looking. And with this heat shrink, you'll want to shrink it as you may imagine, because it's heat shrink. Actually, you might want to put the side buttons back in this little stabilizer socket thing here again. So we're going to do that. Boom. Once you feel it's very secure, not jiggling or anything, and you're sure it works, you should be okay for then. Now we have a part I'm not feeling very good about. Do the black heat shrinks. Wait, as you guys can see, I've successfully heat shrank this ring into the socket here. So now we're going to proceed. Sorry for the interruptions. And here we can just place this thing on top and hear the back snap in place as we go in the back. And then in the front, line it up as good as well as possible. Snap in the back, then slide it up into the front. You hear a snap. You snap it into place. Though if one is going in, you should probably the other should probably also stay in. Actually, now that I noticed something, if your side buttons fall out, you can see where it goes through. You can simply just slip it back in and then kind of wedge it up, and then it's all good. Just test it a bit to be sure it's really good. This is troublesome. It's definitely not a perfect guide. I will cut out and wait till we get this on. At this point, I have now finished putting on the top of this mouse. I found out that this paracord was indeed not shrank enough, and so it was not able to go down fully. And so now we reach the final stage of the paracording and top modding, or whatever you want to call it, phantom modding. I don't know. You take the screw. We'll take the logical thing. Take the screws. Screw them back in. Screw them in until you feel they are pretty secure and are not bound to move for a little while. You do that for the other one, of course, because that's logical. Do that until you feel it can't move much. Now we put on the set of hyperglides. Hyperglides are pretty easy to put on. Just line them up, then press down. And here, make sure it didn't overlap and create a faulty look. And those were actually recycled hyperglides, but I actually have one more fresh new hyperglide, because there was a mistake somewhere around. And here we have peel out our final hyperglide to complete this guide. Now, or whatever. Cue the dramatic music. And it is now on. We have completed our neat looking paracorded, fully functional, I think fully functional. I'll plug this in and we can see if it works or not. Hello, okay. Right now I'm recording through OBS. If we look down, I'm using the new mouse, the new paracord, and if you look at the screen, on screen you can see the mouse is clearly moving. And yeah, that's gonna conclude our guide. Hope to see you guys in the next video, which is gonna be coming pretty soon, I believe, because I'm gonna be getting to work right now. And see ya.